There's one type of enemy that lives in you. You heard that right. When we think about enemy, we think about those people who are outside, those things that are beyond ourselves, and yet there's one particular enemy that lives in each and every one of us. And this enemy is very destructive because it can destroy your health, your career, your education. It destroys families, destroys churches, it destroys countries, and worst of all, it destroys your relationship with the Father. And you know what? When you don't recognize this enemy, it could live within you and it could consume you alive, and eventually it will just cause a lot of trouble in your life. And this is the main reason that we should all recognize this enemy. And what enemy am I talking about? Well, my friend, pride is your enemy. It will never be your friend, and it will never be the one that will save you. Only God can save you. That's why every time when you feel like being arrogant, being boastful, being proud, you need to remember this one very humbling statement in the Bible. And I think it is very important for us to remember this one because it puts into proper perspective who we really are, who our true value. It's going to tell you that we should not think about ourselves too highly because this is the reality. This is something that the Bible tells us that you and I are. So what is this verse? This verse is found in Genesis 3 verse 19. Genesis 3 verse 19. So every time you would feel like being arrogant, you tell yourself, Genesis 3 verse 19. What does this verse tell you? Genesis 3 verse 19 says, "For dust you are, and to dust you shall return." Can you imagine that? That no matter who you are, that no matter how much accomplishments you've had, how much successful you are, how beautiful or handsome, or no matter who you are in this world, it doesn't change the fact that you are dust. And when you die, you shall return to dust. And this is very important because if you have this realization, you won't feel like being proud. You know why? Because you are just simply made of dirt. You are nothing. And there's really nothing that you should be proud of. And remembering Genesis 3 verse 19 helps us to remember that our worth is not based on your skills, it's not based about the money that you have in your bank. No, that's not it. Your value is based on how God sees you. And I'm so happy, I'm so glad. So we are so blessed because our true value it does not depend on the things that we have, but our value is in the sight of God. That's why, my friend, we should remember that we are nothing apart from God, but we are someone in the eyes of God. He loves each and every one of us. He takes care of us, and He would like to have a relationship with you and I. So every time you feel like being proud, being arrogant, just remember, you are dust. And you should also remember that your pride cannot help you. So set aside your pride, live in humility, live humbly. That's how when God sees you that you are humble, in due time He will exalt you. And I think that is one of the most wonderful things that you will ever read in your Bible. So don't forget, for dust you are, and to dust you shall return. I'm Joshua Infantado of Becoming Christians. See you next time.